Hey guys, welcome back to Heavy Metal Horizons. Okay, this is going to be a really fun video. I'm going to do a unboxing and build of a new RC plane that I just got. Now the reason I'm doing this is is basically like a classic yellow Piper Cub, J3 Cub RC plane, and this is from a brand called WL Toys. They've been around for a few years, but from what I can tell recently, they've sort of stepped up their game quite a bit, and they've really expanded the different RC cars and airplanes and so forth, and they've expanded the different models that they own. And I haven't seen much coverage of this one. And from the pictures and everything that I can see, it looks like they've really made some nice improvements in terms of the scale look of the airplane and just the overall quality. Because the nice thing about these, again, WL Toys, that's the brand. They make a lot of different stuff. The nice thing about these are made in China. They're very economically priced, is a good way to say it. But for what you spend on these, they do seem to be really good quality. Now, about the price, the cost of these varies considerably depending on where you buy it. I've seen different listings on eBay and so forth, and they go for around $80 to $120, just depending on who you're buying it from and what their markup is. But it's in that price range. So around $100. And that's a ready-to-fly kit. The airplane, with the controller, or I should say the transmitter and the receiver, everything is all, servos are pre-installed. That's what I'm expecting here. But obviously we have to do a little assembly because it's not going to fit in this box just ready to go. So let's go ahead and open this box up, take a look at it, and put it together and see what the quality's like. Now, I've talked a little bit about model building in the past on some of my previous videos, and you guys probably know that I'm a private pilot now, but I still love model airplanes, and not just the airplanes themselves, but I love the process of putting things together, and also the sort of life skills that building models builds. I think it's a really good thing for everybody. And what's great about stuff like this is these are relatively affordable, and it's probably pretty easy to fly also as a model goes. So this is probably a pretty good thing to learn on. That's assuming it's good quality, which we'll find out in a second here. But yeah, this is hopefully the kind of thing that you can get maybe as a first RC model. Okay, so there it is right there. This is the WL Toys J3 Skylark. It's a fun little mishmash of aviation names there. And yeah, like I said, this should be ready to go, everything included. So let's go ahead and open up the box and see what we have to do as far as assembly. Okay, you can take a look in there. So you can see there, that's the fuselage, and got the wings wrapped up in here. So I'll go ahead and start taking all these pieces out here, and we can take a closer look at this stuff. Now, while I'm doing this, one thing I want to mention is that, like I said, if you guys know I'm a private pilot, and if you've seen any of my videos on my flight training, you might be aware that the guys at my flight school, mainly Mo and Sam, they are in the process of rebuilding and restoring an actual 1940 J3 Piper Cub. Same paint job and everything. And it's been really, really cool to see that process of them restoring it. And I'm hoping that when they get it all done, I can do a cool video on that. Then maybe we can compare the model with the real thing. That'd be awesome. Okay, so fuselage there. This is the left wing, and the right wing is in here. Here is the landing gear and an extra prop and spinner. That's going to be great for when I nose it over on landing. And your elevator and stabilizer right there. And this is, I think that's one of the battery chargers. Okay, and then the transmitter. It's on the bottom here. How do we get that out? Yeah, so these transmitters, I've seen this before, and this is typical for what comes in these preformed kits like this, these sort of budget-friendly RC kits. This is not the kind of transmitter that you could use like with any receiver, but obviously they're paired to the receiver that comes in the airplane. So it's a cost-saving measure. I mean, this is not a fantastic transmitter, but you know, they still have trim controls and that kind of stuff, so they certainly get the job done. So okay, let me clear off all the junk here. Now obviously, as far as the materials here, this is like the EPO foam, you know, the formed foam construction. It's surprisingly heavy, actually. That's interesting. Now on the bottom of the fuselage here, we've got a couple little compartments. You can take these covers off. And then in here, you've got this is the battery that powers the airplane. And you also have the receiver and stuff in there, although I think that you're just meant to leave in there. But you've got the battery slips in there, which of course you want to keep in the nose to maintain the correct balance. And there's this other compartment back here, and this houses the servos for the rudder and elevator. Okay, now let's go ahead and get this thing assembled. Now I'm going to be responsible, and I'm going to read the directions. Okay, step number 1, horizontal tail. So the horizontal stabilizer back here, let's get this on. One thing that's really nice about this foam that they make this stuff out of is it's fairly flexible. So it does have a little give to it, which is great for rough landings, but it's also great for the installation process. So you don't run as much risk of damaging this thing while you're assembling it. Okay, so that snaps in there. It's got a black plastic piece here, which kind of locks the two pieces together, and it looks like we're going to put a couple of screws in there. And they do give you one of these really cheesy little tiny screwdrivers. I don't even know if you can see that on the camera, but there's a little tiny Phillips head screwdriver. So they don't tell me which screws to use, and it looks like there are 2 different sizes. So I'm going to use the longer screws. I think the shorter screws are going to be used for the to connect the struts on the wings. Okay, so that's on. Now, step number 2. Wings, okay. Okay, so you connect the wings to each other first. These have some plastic clips that just sort of slide in together. And there are these little strut braces here that snap into the holes on the underside of the wings. Okay, then this goes over the top. You want to make sure you get the struts underneath the fuselage. Now one thing that's not really great about this is they don't have any instructions on the wiring here. So you could potentially have the ailerons reversed when you wire this together. Now obviously you'd find that out if you do a good pre-flight check. Make sure your controls are working properly before you take off. But it sure would maybe save a little time if there was some way to tell these connections apart. But we'll just go ahead and connect these, and if we have to rewire them, then we will do that. Okay, so it's starting to look pretty good here. We've got the wing all attached, and these 2 locks on the top there that hold it in place. Now we've got the wing struts down here and the landing gear, and these sort of go together. So the strut goes first, and then the landing gear goes on top of that. Okay, so the landing gear and the wing struts both have the same attachment point. All right, guys, take a look at that. That is looking really good. So guys, I gotta say, just looking at this thing, they've done a really good job on the scale look of it. Again, for a low-priced RC model, you know, RTF, ready to fly, everything included, this thing looks really, really nice. And it's a nice sort of medium size. You know, you can put this in your car without disassembling it to transport it. On the bigger planes, you usually have to, you know, take the wing off and that kind of stuff. But this is a great size, and this thing looks really cool. Now, the only thing that's really left here to do is to go ahead and attach the servos on the back here for the rudder and elevator. So I will do that now. I'm going to use the central attachment point. Okay, let's just snap in. Okay guys, so with the exception of the transmitter batteries, which is just AA batteries. I'm going to go grab some of those, and I'm going to leave you with some cool close-ups of the airplane, because I want you guys to get a really good look at how cool this thing looks. Alright guys, I got some batteries. Again, that's 4 AA batteries in the transmitter. And let's go ahead and try this thing on. Now I've got the main battery in the airplane. I don't expect this to have a lot of juice in the battery, but let's see if we can get it to connect at least here. So we'll switch this on. These things should pair automatically. Let's see. Hey, look at that. See if we got any juice, any gas in the tank here. Whoa! Whoa! All right, this thing's seems like it's. Let's see here. Yeah, actually, I got the ailerons connected properly, so we'll bank in the correct direction. Anyway, guys, let's see. Make sure all of our controls work okay. Now that's interesting. I think there's a few different modes here, because the way it is set up right now, they've got the ailerons and the rudder interconnected. I don't know if you can see that here. Turn that around so you can see the tail. There's a few different flying modes, and we'll explore that more when we do the actual flying video. I haven't done that yet. Obviously, I just put this together, just got it. But when I do that video, I'm going to link to it down in the video description below of this video, if you want to check that out. But yeah, it looks like all the controls are working well. Everything's hooked up. It's got quite a bit of power too. I'm looking forward to flying this thing. All right, guys, I'll go ahead and shut it off. But yeah, that's it right there. Now, so far, I gotta say I'm really impressed with this. For the price, this thing is a beautiful looking model, very easy to assemble. The only negative thing I have to say about it is the wiring with the wings there. I feel like you could get that reversed pretty easily, but even if you do, it's not a disaster. You just take these 2 snaps off, take the wing off, switch the wires back, and then you're fine after that. So guys, there we go. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, I'll do a first test flight in a separate video, and then once I've done that, I'll link to that down in the video description below. If you enjoy videos like this, and if you enjoy any videos about airplanes or cars, that's what this channel is all about. So subscribe if you like that stuff, if you haven't subscribed already. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.